Hey guys, so what I'm going to start now is a rehaul conversion of the 2018 Halloween Michael Myers mask. This is the one that came from China. It's shipped from Kentucky. It's from Label. I did a review video on it earlier, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and start my Michael Myers Jack-O-Lantern mask. So you know, what we're going to try to do is something of this sort here. Just a rough sketch. So the plans of it is to go ahead and cut this side of the face out completely, take it away. We're going to go ahead and do some paint touch up to the rest of the face. Probably going to leave the ear on this side, so it's probably going to come up around here. Come down, maybe have some overlay. Cuts down to the lip, come up here. All this will be pumpkin. The eye will be reshaped as a pumpkin. We'll probably put like right here. I didn't want to cut out the nose just for the fact that I'll be re-gluing this section on underneath. So I didn't want to have anything like so. There'll probably be like a little point to a nose here coming down to half the mouth. So tonight I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. I'm going to go ahead and repaint this, take out the black of the eyes. I'm not going to do too much of this side because I kind of like it. The hair's coming up a little bit, so I'm going to use some glue to glue that back down. Tomorrow I do have some liquid latex coming in. So what I'm planning on doing is, because this is cut out, I need it to be a little longer than what the cutout is, so I can go ahead and glue it back in. That way I'll have pieces that are overlapping it, so it gives that rip away effect. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to put liquid latex around it, let it dry, and hopefully that will give me one big round piece, trim around, and then I can glue that back on to the inside of the mask and still have the majority of the outside of the mask can overlay it a little bit, so it gives that rip away effect. And that will be the pumpkin. A little more into that. I'm going to go ahead and probably, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do like an actual triangle eye, or if I'm going to go ahead with the classic Michael Myers look that has kind of a round shaped eye. Nose, like I said, is going to be slanted, and it's going to have the little, looks like the knife cut down to the mouth. The mouth, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the friendly Halloween one yet, or if I'm just going to go ahead and make it a more spiky, evil looking. I'll decide that tomorrow when the time comes. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We'll come back and check right back to see what it looks like after that. Okay, so the first part is done here. You see cut out. So everything that you see here will actually be the pumpkin face itself. Everything you see here will be the Michael Myers. Here's the piece we cut out. Like I said, what I'm going to do this tomorrow is I'm going to go ahead and lay it down, set it up, have this all, with liquid latex, just so, when I put it underneath it, this will overlap it. This will overlap this with the extra latex, so I can glue it in here, and you'll still have these little, flaps over top the pumpkin head. So at this time now, I'm just going to go ahead and take some regular white acrylic, probably mixed in with some antique white, some water, and we're just going to go ahead and touch this up and make it a little whiter around the eyes. And then we'll probably go around with some of these real fine brushes here with a very light wash of burnt umber and some black, to re-highlight these to make sure they pop out enough. And that'll probably be it for tonight. And then tomorrow, when I get the latex, we'll go ahead and finish up the pumpkin, and then hopefully we'll get this finished up shortly. Alright, so right now I have the mask mostly painted. I got to hold it up here on this side. overall, it's I don't think it's too bad. People might complain, depending on how much the camera picks up, it's too green, because that was one of the complaints with the Trick or Treat Studios. For this concept though, I wanted it more green, mildewy looking. I guess that's sort of my thing. So there's that. The next step right now we have is the rest of the mask, and I just went ahead and poured some liquid latex with some white paint, acrylic paint in there, just so I get a more overall shape. So then when I take it out, I can place it inside of the mask here, and I'll be able to glue it underneath here. Obviously, with it being cut out, it'd still be the same shape, and there'd be nowhere to really have that overlaying effect. So with this, hopefully in a few hours or so, I'll be able to go around, cut it around, cut out some of those other spots to make it look back like the jack-o'-lantern face, and then try to figure out how to actually go ahead and glue it on the insides after I get it painted. So that will be my next update. Once again, it's closer looks. This mask actually has some pretty good detail. I'm pretty excited to get my Trick or Treat Studios mask in, just to see the amount of detail they have in it. Alright, so I'll be back as soon as I can get that mold painted, and before I go ahead and put it on. Alright guys, so what I did then was go ahead and I took what I had in here, because I wanted it to dry underneath too. I shouldn't have poured it, I should have just kind of brushed it on layer by layer. After reading some things, I decided just to go ahead and dump it out onto this wax paper, throw some baby powder on it. I did see an interesting video where you do one layer of latex, you take a piece of tissue paper, lay it down, put latex over it, and keep layering it over. I did that twice, which gave it a kind of a nice, pumpkin-y, soft pumpkin-y feel to it. And then I did that, like I said, 2 times. Then I went over the layer one more time, blow dried it a bit, and then while it was still kind of wet, but yet it wouldn't come back on the hand, I pressed down on it. It kind of gives it this pumpkin-y texture to it, which kind of was a trial by error. I was just trying to kind of smooth it down, make sure, but then I started looking at it and it actually looked like a pumpkin, so I was satisfied with it. I did mix my latex with the orange paint as well. On the bottom, you can still see the original mask, so I know where to cut. So after this is all dried, I'll probably let it sit for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and try to peel it up. Right now, it is kind of, you can still form it a little bit, but it's keeping its shape pretty well. So I'm pretty satisfied with it, what it should look like. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to take it off and try to line it up as best I can underneath the mask, and then I'll slowly probably start to add a little bit of latex, maybe mixed with the glue I have here, and try to get it to stick here. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and cut beforehand or while it's on the mask. I might just go ahead, place this on the mask, and then just cut from the lines of what I think it should look like there. So that will be our next step in the process. So as you can see here, we do have our pumpkin latex, a little messed up on the back because it was more wet in the back. So but yeah, overall not too shabby once it's cut down and cut in places. So this is going to go somehow up under here, and that's my next objective, to try to figure out how to do that. Alright, so we got it glued in here. Looking pretty good. Did some cutting to the nose just so I can. There's a little hole in there. For the most part, I think it's going to be turned out pretty good. I did poke a mark where my eye would be when I had it on. So my next thing is to redraw the pumpkin face itself and go ahead and try to cut it out, and then go ahead and touch it up with some paint. So after I go ahead and get it cut out, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I got the pumpkin head in, one head, and glued it all in. Then I cut out the pumpkin face. Bring this up. So that's what it will basically look like once it's done. You see it's coming apart here. What this is used was just part of the old mask, liquid latex, and like I said earlier in the video, use some toilet paper from what I've seen from another video just to make a quick mask. I'm not sure, I kind of like it how it is. Probably put some glue in here, just glue it down. See, it is a little flimsy right here. I'm going to take a piece that I cut off earlier. I'm going to glue it, just put it right in here to get it more stable. I am going to go ahead and for the nose and the mouth, I just bought a few packs of these stockings here. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in the inside of this. So this will be connected, and then I'll probably go ahead and put another small piece and glue it underneath the stocking so you don't see it, to kind of hold the shape of this. This mask will probably won't be worn much. It's more so for just a display. So once it's stuffed, it should hold its shape very well. As you can see down here, it's also coming apart a little bit. But I'll just put some glue on it. I am going to go over it again with some latex and paint. So I feel like after that it will hold up for the most part. So hopefully the finished product. But as far as it is, it's not coming out. I manhandled it pretty roughly after gluing it already, just to cut it out and everything. So, and it didn't separate anywhere. So so far it's a rough sketch without being stuffed, but I think it's going to serve its purpose at the end. Alright, so we've got to paint them up here. Use two colors here. I got the pumpkin orange, which is darker orange, and I used a apricot with a little bit of pale daffodil, yes, on the eyes, around the inside of the eyes, give it kind of a gleam look. Want it back over dry brushed. I don't think you can pick it up. Might be able to. It's a little lighter around the eyes, and then want it over base with the apricot, just as a dry brush as well. I think that's all I'm going to be doing with the painting. Once I go ahead and I think I'm going to cover this eye, the mouth, nose with the stockings, just to go ahead and have coverage. I'm not sure how an eye would look cut out. I'll give it a try and see what it looks like first. But other than that, as soon as I get that done, get it stuffed properly, then we'll call it a day. Alright guys, well I think I'm finally done. I did some touch up with the paint. I put in the pantyhose across the nose and the mouth, and this is what I got so far. So really, that's all I'm going to be doing to them. I'm not sure if I like the brown lines I made to the pumpkin. Let it sit for a couple days, see what I like about it. If I don't like it, I'll just go back over it, probably with a dark orange, and then give it another touch up with a lighter apricot color. I might even just give it more lines, who knows. But yeah, that is what I call my Mike-O-Latern. I'll go right on display right next to my Rob Zombie one. Like I said, I'm gonna get ahead. Probably gonna get the same mask in the mail in 2 weeks, week and a half. Next week I should be getting Rob Zombie beginning mask. I probably won't do anything like that except for maybe a review for it. But as soon as I come up with my next concept idea, I'll go ahead and let you guys know. But I'll go ahead and leave you with one more good look at the mask, and thanks for watching.